Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Getting the hang of this. This year's obsession is no longer Mountain Dew or Mountain Dew. So I'm brew for my Scottish brothers. That accent was terrible, wasn't it? I probably won't do that again. That is incredible. That's going to keep me going all summer. The road to players, or the road to players. I'm going to try and do it like that. Episode 3. That's really hard to do that. 3. Anyway, episode 3. Where are we? That rhymes. Interesting. Right, so I've got this done. The front underside of the splitter. I've printed the little scuff plates, 5mm thick of solid ABS, and then the rest is just infill. These are basically designed to be a little kiss. You know, they're called bumper scuffers or bumper sliders, whatever. So I'm hoping that they will save the bumper on, you know, speed bumps, driveways, whatever. Just come up against them, but obviously I've got to be very careful. And this is a disposable item. The other kind of issue I had is the exhaust, even though it's wrapped, runs really close to here. And I've got some of this stuff, the thick stuff, the good stuff. But no matter what I do, I've heated it up, I've left it in the sun, I've got the heat gun on it, I've done everything. And I leave it for, you know, a little bit of time, and it's just peeling off. Now you would say, well Matt, you're sticking it to buffalo board. Yes, but I sanded the buffalo board, so you probably can't see here, but I sanded all this to take off the top layer, or whatever it is. I am probably a naughty bastard for burping. But I don't know why the screen's blipping about. Is it going to stop? I do that. Do this. That's unwatchable, isn't it? Why is it doing that? Oh, that's really annoying. Right, let's figure this out. It's got to be frame rate, hasn't it? 100 frames a second. Is that any better? It's going to take up loads more space in it. Oh my god. Anyway, like I was saying, sorry if it was flickering before. I don't remember what I said, so I can't do it again. I'd love to, but we're on a journey here. We do one takes. This is never ever rehearsed or any of that other shit. Of course, because otherwise this would be more successful. But anyway, you're still with me. I've done this. I sanded this. I cleaned this with Isopro Panol, just alcohol, right? And then I heated this up and stuck it on, and it still keeps falling off. And I'm worried that, you know, all this, you know, I stuck this right through here. I've done a real pucker job of it, heated it all up, and it's just come unstuck. And I'm worried that I'm going to put this under the car. The exhaust is going to get close to it. This is going to get hot and delaminate and fall off, and just obviously wood is combustible, so I don't really want it next to the exhaust. So I'm kind of stuck a little bit, but the rest of it is done, which I'll show you. I've printed off 2 more bumper sliders because apparently you can't have enough, and they're going to go here in this. See, these are 400 apart, and I'm going to put another one there, 200 apart, just so it's got a little bit of corner support. And I put them on the front edge as well. So it's all messed about, and it's kind of all thought about, but whatever. I wanted to show a little bit the old hex pattern. You can choose buffalo board in loads of different patterns, but I wanted hex because it's a throwback to the Cosy days with the hex interior. I know it's a really sad thing to do, but I quite like it. Getting the grips of the mic, I think. Can you hear me? I've done some scanning and designing. You might have seen for the rear diffuser, which I'm going to add into the mix. You can see here, underside of the RS. It's a pretty cool scan. It's quite a rush scan as well, to be honest. I didn't really take any time with it. So I checked a few dimensions, everything looks good. And I've just tried to put something diffuser-ish looking. So I've given myself a flat plane under the car, and then I've built off of that. And I'm sort of turning it into a, I guess it'll be a forbade diffuser. Really, probably only need 2 in the middle. But yeah, I don't know how it's going to develop. At the moment, I am purely freestyling, so we'll see how we go. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you. The rest of the car, I've basically just been getting buttoned up. Oh, got a funny little thing to tell you in a minute. And I've been doing some bits and pieces in the garage, just to make the garage better. Look at this, look. I've put a light behind me, so when I do this, ta-da! But what it does is it allows me to see what I'm doing. It goes right around the door. How cool is that? It's lovely, but it gives me better lighting now, so I can actually see what I'm doing. And because it's above my head, I'm never in the shade. It's pretty clever, isn't it? Accidental, but you know, whatever. Now the front bumper is back on, as you can see here. I'll get you maybe a nice shot from outside. But underneath is where all the work's gone. So this has been a bit of a labour of love, because this creates a lot of downforce, and I've got stress marks in the front bumper where it's been pulling down, and I snapped this front bumper at Players 2 or 3 years ago when I did the previous road to Players. So what I've done is, come to my office, underneath the car you'll see this black, matte black frame. Now I built this a couple of years back, and it was fairly, not flimsy, but it was just tack welded together, wasn't properly done. So what I've done is I've added, let's take you on a journey, an additional point here. This one here holds the oil cooler. Retriangulated all this. I've got one up to the, don't know if you can see that there, off the back of the oil cooler housing. And on the other side, very similar, might be easier to see this side. You've got one here off the radiator bracket, and then one off the arm up the top there. And that makes this real strong. So that's all back together. But also, as you saw before, I've done all heat proofing on the inside of the bumper, where the oil cooler goes there, all the way up the top, because heat rises. And also this side where the screamer goes. That's not yet peeling off. Again, I cleaned all of this with alcohol, yeah, a little bit. And yeah, that's just to basically protect things. Apart from that, it's been a busy week, but that is basically taken me all this time. The other bits and pieces I was talking about is I've got some heat protection stuff going on with Zerkotech. They're going to look after the car. They're going to do, I think, the screamer in ceramic, the turbo ceramic, and then this downpipe is going to be insulated, refractory insulated, and the flexi over the power steering, because that obviously kills the old power steerings. And they said about ceramic in the tailpipe, I don't really know. After Players, I'm going to rip all this out and do that. So again, it's going to have to be underside of the car off and then drop all these pipes out, but that is not actually a big deal. So yeah, that'll be fun. So that hopefully will get the heat management underway. So what's next? We've done this. This is, you know, I'm not going to use it to pull myself up, but it is stout. It is decent now. This has all been redone. So these are all solid. It's all Nylox and ready to rock and roll. I've cleared more space now. Right, a proper tidy up. So what am I doing in here? I've got some carbon plates to go on here. This is just loosely laid in. I've got some carbon plates to go in here to get the air to. And then this here, these, I think it's called a scuttle, bulkhead, sealer, I don't know. I'm going to take this off, chop all these off, and then from this point, I'm going to slot it, do a nice slot and drill job. So this allows airflow to go through here. This is all dimpled already, and then take the heat out there. So I've got at least some type of through and out for the heat. That's the plan. So this video, pretty much a quick one, and restuck all this under here as well because I'm shit scared that's gonna kill that. But it's a quick one really, just to explain, just shot my new lights really. Ooh. Just to explain what I've done this week. But that's another thing ticked off the list. So we've got that done. I've started to do the wiring for the windows. But what I did have is a company reach out to me on Instagram, and I'm going to butcher their name, and I'm sorry, I can't remember what they're called. But I think they're called Stance Parts, and they do the front axle lift. Well, they basically do an air ride kit that lifts your car 2 inches. So you drive it static, like you would, but you have these air cups that go on the front suspension or the rear suspension. A few people got it, the Mexicans has got them, and they reached out because basically I would like my car about an inch lower. I would say maybe an inch and a half on the front, inch on the back, just to give it rake. But I think currently it does sit a little too high. But if I dropped it to how I want it to sit, I would hit literally every speed bump and getting onto my driveway. But they reached out and they said, hey look, we've got this solution, still got to pay for it, but I hadn't really thought about it. And Andy said that they're super, super helpful, like the kit is, and you don't have to have a tank. So I'm going to remove this fire extinguisher and in its place, or in the wheel well here, depending on how big it is when it turns up, I'm going to put the compressor. So instead of me having a reservoir, so I can just I'm going to have to, when I press the button, the pump's going to turn on, which is fine with me because I don't give a shit. It takes apparently 5 seconds to go from unlifted to lifted without the reservoir, and 2 seconds with the reservoir. Who gives a shit? Just wait 3 seconds more. So that's going to be that. I'm going to put it on the steering wheel so I can easily drive, lift it up, and it's just something I've always thought would be very, very cool on the Focus. When I put it on, it's going to probably not be before players because I've got to take all the front suspension off. The cups are slightly bigger. They sit on the top of the coilover underneath the camber plate. So I need to figure out all my dimensions. I'm not doing that before players, I'll do it before roll hard. So I'll order the kit and have it sitting here. And the reason I'm taking this out will become apparent in a future video and Instagram story, because I need to announce something, but I haven't yet because I've been so busy. But I promise it's coming. So this is not empty, it's got no pressure. So you could pull that and it would do absolutely sweet fuck all. So I've got a solution that will replace that, remove weight out of the car, which I don't care about, and be a nicer solution than that, because that's corrosive. As soon as that goes off on your wires, it's corrosive, your hoses, it eats everything. So I've got a different solution. I don't know if it's better, whatever. But I need to figure that out in the background and then explain to you guys what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Yeah, so I've got a main video coming up about putting all the engine back together, but this one is we're going to try and do Mondays 6 PM. It's currently Sunday before Bank Holiday Monday, and I've not touched this video, so I'm going to go in now, edit this, and drink loads of Iron Brew. Does anyone else remember Iron Brew did an energy drink called Iron Brew 32? Please, someone, if you've had that or you remember it and it wasn't just a figment of my imagination, which would be weird if I like created that for no reason, please put a story and say, yes, Iron Brew 32 did exist. Yeah, I could Google it, but it'd be more fun if someone actually said, no, you're not actually mental. That was actually a thing, and it was nice, because I remember it tasting like the Iron Brew bars, which was like a different thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Someone let me know I'm not mental, please, it'd be wonderful. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate the likes, the comments, everything. I appreciate everyone's time. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on episode 4, which will hopefully be that fitted, the car back on its wheels, us outside doing the windows and some other bits and pieces. I can't even remember what I've got left to do. I've got a list somewhere.